friends, it's Team Man. We're back with a new video, man. It's on Michelle's training. Yes, Team Blaha. Team Blaha Michelle. Yes, man. All right, we're going to do a video on the gym lifting Slave Herself. And the coach critiquing it. We're going to critique him. It's a reaction video to Team Blaha client Michelle's video. Part 96 of failure and a day of infertility and a day of accelerated aging. Yes, I'll explain what I mean by accelerated aging and a day of infertility and no progress whatsoever. All right, I'll explain this. Okay.
Hey everybody, it's JasonBlaha here, and once again it is time for my...
All right, off the bat, she is doing concentric exercises. These are concentric. They just make you better at doing these exercises. They do not cause any damage to the myofibrillar so that you can grow more myofibrillar contractile proteins and myofibrillars. That is the difference in this exercise. See that? She's not going to the bottom and going partly up. She's going from the top down, partly down, and partly back up again. See that? This is not even full range. Well, watch look how she does it.
After Michelle's vlog, and this is part 2 of the week, which means we finished the last 3 workouts. Everything was a PR. All right, that's all.
The truth is, she should go all the way to the bottom, let her butt hit her ankles, and then bring it up halfway and go back down. She doesn't have to go all the way up to do the concentric portion. That's why Blaha is saying that Michelle has never gained any muscle, has never built any muscle. Well, she's not building muscle. There's other reasons why she's not building it either. Because muscle can't damage with a repeated bout, and these muscles can only ever get an adaptation when, I would say, and I talked about this previously. It's, look, I even post on my channel, I post everywhere. So let's say she's an athlete, okay? So,
According to Physiopedia, exercise-induced muscle damage, EIMD, this often occurs when an athlete participates in a new or unfamiliar exercise, when learning new techniques, or experiences an increase in the volume or intensity of exercise. This can lead to short-term performance decrements due to changes in the makeup of the muscles.
That's right. And is she doing anything new or unfamiliar as an athlete to get this damage so that she can build muscle, myofibrillar growth? No, she's not doing any of that. So, yeah, here's a look. I'll even bring up this one too. So, a unique feature of unaccustomed. So, but only one form of exercise, eccentric exercise. Listen to what they say. This is from NCBI, bro. But only one form of exercise, one form, eccentric exercise, if we are unaccustomed to it, leaves us stiff and sore the next day. During eccentric exercise, the contractile muscle is forcibly lengthened. Yes, that's what you want. One commonly encountered example of eccentric exercise is what? Downhill running. Nothing uphill. Everything down, the down force. So, man, I honestly don't know what's going on here, but okay.
According to Physiopedia, delayed onset muscle soreness, DOMS, also known as muscle fever, is a sore, aching, painful feeling in the muscles after unfamiliar or unaccustomed intense exercise. This soreness is thought to result from temporary muscle damage and inflammation, commonly triggered by eccentric exercises.
That's right. That's what's going to cause that damage. So, this damage.
According to Physiopedia, exercise-induced muscle damage, EIMD, this often occurs when an athlete participates in a new or unfamiliar exercise, when learning new techniques, or experiences an increase in the volume or intensity of exercise. This can lead to short-term performance decrements due to changes in the makeup of the muscles.
That's right, dude. I think most people don't even understand what they're talking about here. But whatever. He doesn't know that Blaha. He doesn't know anything about bodybuilding, man. And I have another one where it says extreme or unaccustomed, extreme and unaccustomed. So she's not doing extreme. Her movements aren't extreme to cause any damage as well. I'm not going to bring that one up now because I have to look for it. It's in my community section, but whatever.
We need to know. All right, no, we're good. Okay, yeah, she pretty much PR'd on everything this week. She's trucking along pretty well. As a coach, I'm very, very happy with the progress. Now, keep in mind, a lot of this has been muscle memory.
You have to start from the bottom and then work your way up, and then just keep going up partial way. But this more, she does a lot of concentric movements which are not associated with eccentric movements. No muscle damage, no growth. No muscle damage, no real growth. She will get sarcoplasmic growth because she's eating, I know this, all these people are eating artificial diets called carbohydrates. A lot of crazy people out there eat carbs. You understand me? Even though you can't digest carbs or cellulose carbs. You can't do anything with them. They're garbage. So, but people are going to do them anyways, regardless, because they're eating for taste. Because it's healthy for them. Yeah, okay, whatever. They can make up anything. Like I said, this is just sarcoplasmic training. But the people that do concentric training are building sarcoplasmic muscles. That's what's happening here.
Lost some muscle while she was away. She comes back to Team Blaha. She's going to get jacked again. It's just how it goes, right?
Yeah, she comes back to Team Blaha. She's going to get jacked again, eating carbohydrates. Jacked, fake jacked. Okay.
That's how we do it on Team Blaha. We get jacked and we get strong.
Yeah, that's all he's concerned about, getting jacked but not building any muscles. He wants to pretend jacked but not build any muscles and be real jacked and get real strength because, man, it's associated with real strength. Myofibrillar growth is associated with real strength. Get it? Yeah.
As hell. All right, so what we do towards the last half of the week, we do a bit more rep work. So again, her first 3 workouts, we tend to do almost power building, but still bodybuilding for the first 2 days, which are an upper lower.
Okay, this is pretty good. She's not. It's not bad. She's moving slowly, but these aren't rapid firing motions. You need to move quickly, very quick in the motion. Let me tell you something. Muscles are really resilient from getting damaged and building muscles. It's really hard, astronomically, on the bar to damage muscles. But once you get familiar on what damages them, when you start figuring out getting experience as a lifter, especially the eccentric parts, you will discover what will bring back this damage and you can grow more muscle. Get in. Yeah, man. But Blaha, he doesn't know what grows muscle because he's a power lifter. He is into concentric lifting, getting good at lifting weights and injecting strength because he can't lift heavy. So he has to inject it. And he gets jacked eating tofu all day. Fake food.
Then we have a more moderate rep range, which is...
I wouldn't say jacked. I would say fat. All of these people have gotten fat. They're nice, round, and smooth and bouncy.
Where we are here.
This is you.
Then we have a more moderate rep range, which is where we are here for an upper lower. And then we do all high rep with a lot of isolation in machines towards the end of the week. So again, we do a 3-day upper lower.
I guess she's trying to do, she's stretching the back of the hamstrings there, right? Okay.
With progressively high.
But look at her knees. They're bending inward to relieve the stretch. So what's the point of doing it if you're relieving it? Your legs are supposed to be completely strength. They're not supposed to be bending inward with the weight.
Higher reps and lighter weight and more isolation as we go through the week.
See that? You see that? So really she's missing out on the contraction. The eccentric portion of the contraction because she's uncomfortable and she's trying to make the exercise comfortable. If you make the exercise comfortable, then you can't damage the muscle fiber in the quad, so they won't grow. They will not grow. They will grow sarcoplasmic hypertrophy because you're an endurance athlete now. because you keep moving up and down, eating a artificial diet called carbohydrates. That isn't Blaha filming her. That's a friend or somebody.
Daily cardio as well with all of this. So to start the week off here, this is our more medium rep range. So it's kind of a heavy, medium, light rotation.
That's either her girlfriend or boyfriend back there. I don't know if she has a boyfriend. Looks like she has a girlfriend.
This is our more medium rep range lower day, which is where we start the part 2 at. So again, we started with a hack squat, and then we go to a barbell Romanian deadlift. Now this is also a new block.
Again, she's flat on the floor and she's pushing in the concentric movement. You need to start at the bottom, and then work your way up halfway. You don't have to go you don't have to go up and then halfway down on the floor. You have to pass the floor and go down. This is not an eccentric movement, okay? This is concentric. Again, waste of time. This is endurance. This is endurance and getting good at moving the weight around.
So a lot of these lifts are new in the rotation.
And she's pumping glycogen into the muscle. So they'll get jacked with some more glycogen. Just go eat some more carbs, babe.
So I do most of her lifts in three-week rotations. The ones that we keep.
Absolute waste of time. A lot of people waste their time in the gym. They get 0 results and then they complain, newbie gains, and I have to maintain my gains now. I have to maintain them. They don't have to be maintained. You're maintaining glycogen. That's what you're maintaining. You're stupid.
Constant are her power lifts. Her big 3, the squat, bench, and deadlift. We're just doing very, very slow progressive overload on those in a moderately heavy rep range. So again, regaining strength on those and using them for.
Okay, this is pretty good. I would say she is actually doing a eccentric movement on this exercise. Yes. See that? The majority of her muscles, they're just getting concentric. This one is getting eccentric. But again, remember what science tells you. New or unaccustomed exercises will get this damage. You understand me? But she's accustomed to doing these because you can see her in all her videos. She's accustomed to doing them. Will she get this damage? See what I mean? Or here's another thing. Let's say you're not damaged, but you're accustomed to doing these. Well, if you do it vigorously, I would say very extreme. If you do it extremely, then you may eke out an adaptation. Yes, you may get some damage there. But she's not doing enough. She does 1 set and then runs away and does another set somewhere else. So it's a waste of exercise.
Hypertrophy and general strength, and everything else is just to get bigger. To get bigger and
to get bigger. Her whole thing is to get bigger, so she wants to get fat by eating carbs, because carbs make you fat. That's what they do. So this makes absolute 0 sense. Even the exercises she does, they're frivolous. This one is a good one, but it'll be frivolous because she'll just do 1 set.
Refine certain muscle groups. So what we have here, again, we have a hack squat, we have an RDL, then she does barbell calf raises. I like to do those also, and most people know my calves are ginormous. That's actually the only thing I do for my calves personally.
You don't even need weights in your hand to do this exercise. You can do numerous stretches on that quad, and it'll damage, providing it's new or unaccustomed, or it's extreme exercise you're doing, one extreme set, like, I don't know, to 100 non-stop.
But in her case, her calves, we need them a lot bigger. We need them bigger, so we have her doing both a standing and a seated calf raise all 3 lower days. But right now we're just doing the standing barbell. And I've had people bring that up, why not stand on the plate? Because quite frankly, when it starts getting heavy.
Or extreme could be, I don't know, it could be 6 by 12. That could be extreme. It's very specific. It depends. Like I said, it's hard for me to explain it to you. It's something you have to build up experience to know how to get this damage to come back. You need to be an experienced lifter. If you're not, you wouldn't understand me, because none of you people are damaging muscles out there because you don't know how to. You don't understand it. You don't have experience. You don't know what you're doing. You're all just frivolous lifters out there, all of you. And I mean everybody, even people on my channel and people on every other channel out there don't know anything about how to bring this damage back. That's why I'm the only channel out there that explains it to you. I even show it to you. I prove it. I use real science. They tell you as an athlete, new or unaccustomed exercise are known to cause what? Widespread muscle damage. It never says accustomed people get damaged or people that are fucking adapted to these stupid ass exercises. Get it, dude? And it's accompanied with a whole bunch with clinical signs of pain, reduced force capacities, range of motion, and a bunch of stuff, okay? You're not going to come back to the gym for more than a week, trust me. And then when you come back, you're ready to bust them again. And you need to use your experience to figure out how to bust them again, to go to the second, to graduate to the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth level to keep building more real myofibrillar muscle. Get it, dude? So you're strong. So you don't have to be a lifting slave the rest of your life in here.
Right, it starts getting heavy, it's very easy to trip over that plate. And to be fair, I think particularly if you're going to do other stuff like sled work or you're going to have a seated calf raise machine, I'm not overly concerned with getting that lengthened position or getting a deep stretch reflex. Again, we can argue about that mechanically.
He's going to argue about he doesn't mind her getting a deep stretch. What the fuck are you talking about? What the hell is Blaha talking about? That's the eccentric exercise. Hello, that's where the damage comes in.
But when you think about the way the calves function, even in day-to-day life, you don't ever really...
Again, she pushes down. Okay, this is not bad. Notice how this machine forces you to go halfway. And this is more of an eccentric movement. So she's not putting her legs all the way to her butt like on some people do on these machines when they're laying down. So she's seated. So watch when it goes up to the top. It needs to lengthen your legs out. At the top is the most important, when it lengthens it out.
Start
right
with
there.
that deep position.
So this is a good machine for eccentric exercises. That's what I've noticed. And you could do many, many repetitions.
With
many sets, many repetitions.
the heel below the toe. We just don't. It's not used in running, not used in jump.
Okay, it's not stretching, although that part right here should be a lot higher. You want it to completely stretch, cause a huge stretch on the quad. That's the point of this exercise.
Being in a standing position. Not really necessary. And it's not necessary to do that, to put 2 inches under.
But in her mind, she thinks she has to push. I have to push downward. That's the most important. No, it's not. It's the up force. It's the opposite. The eccentric is more important.
Calves. So again, as long as we are progressively overloading it, even if we're starting from a just above lengthened position, perfectly fine. Yeah, because we get that on the seated anyways. And I'm not one of those people who think that we need deep lengthened positions on every single exercise. I think as long as...
That's why Blaha doesn't know anything about exercise. He's like, oh, we'll get it on the, the one where you lay down. We'll get it. Because he is a concentric lifter. That's why he has zero muscle growth. She is going to have always zero muscle growth. She's adapted to these exercises. She doesn't know what she's doing. And even if Blaha was her coach, he's a poor coach. He doesn't know anything about bodybuilding whatsoever. He doesn't know anything about strength building or bodybuilding or building strength or anything. He knows how to inject strength and go lift a heavy weight and try to impress you, but that's all he can do, like the rest of these phony influencers online.
We have at least one for every muscle group. You're general.
I'd never hire any of these phony fucking coaches because they suck.
Really good to go. It's fine to have stuff that focuses a little more on the mid-range. I think it's fine to have exercises that focus on the shortened position. Again, as long as...
Maybe you hit your peak when you won the Grade 3 Science Fair with your potato headlamp.
That focus on the shortened position. Again, as long as you have it all varied, you get proper stimulus there, every head of the muscle gets worked.
She's not doing anything. She was just rocking her calves back and forth one set. Zero growth here. It needs to be, here's the thing, even if it's new or unaccustomed, it still needs to be vigorous. The exercise has to be vigorous to cause the muscle to damage.
And we have progressive
Man, it's just not enough. The amount of work she's doing is just not enough.
overload present. Again, progressive overload being the primary driver of adaptation.
Progressive overload is the driver of what? Adaptation. Did you hear what he said? Progressive overload is the driver of adaptation. No, it isn't. New or unaccustomed exercises are the driver of new adaptations, broski. Get it?
Yeah.
He's crazy. I gotta go back on that one. Let me see. What was that? 414? Right there.
Again, progressive overload being the primary driver of adaptation.
Progressive overload is not the driver of adaptation. The driver of adaptation is muscle damage.
According to Physiopedia, the overload principle is responsible for the improvement in exercise as well as the adaptation to exercise.
Yeah.
The muscular system
Okay,
can be
hold on.
mechanically or metabolically overloaded. These mechanisms result in specific and different adaptations that enhance performance.
Right. Enhancing your performance. This is a different type of, okay. When he said the primary driver of whatever overload is fucking that adaptation. Yeah, you're adapting to the weights, but that isn't the primary adaptation for sorry, because when I brought it up, I should have said myofibrillar growth. See, it won't tell you what the primary driver of myofibrillar growth is. Hold on. Okay, so how does, okay, when you say it in here, it just shows you this thing, okay? So how do muscles adapt to muscle damage? One proposed mechanism for the adaptation is an increase in what? Sarcomere number in muscle fibers. That's how it adapts to muscle damage. See that? So there you go. I don't know, because the computer is not going to tell you when you bring it up here, because I can't bring it up. So exercise-induced muscle damage, repair and adaptation, right there. This study examines exercise-induced muscle damage, repair, and rapid adaptation. How does it adapt to the muscle damage? And what does it do? Grows myofibrillars.
According to Physiopedia, the myofibrils are made up of thick and thin myofilaments, which give the muscle its striped appearance. The thick filaments are composed strands of the protein myosin, and the thin filaments are strands.
Muscle regeneration, remodel, maturation, muscle regeneration usually start. Anyways, we already know, man. I can't bring it up because I'd have to go through it so many times. So the one that he's talking about, he's talking about getting good at lifting the weight. That's an adaptation, yeah, because you're adapted to your exercises. But that isn't based on myofibrillar growth.
You know, the human race.
Look, man, it is not the driver of myofibrillar growth, bro. The driver of myofibrillar growth is an adaptation in myofibrillar adaptation, not progressive overload. Progressive overload is, it'll give you an adaptation, being better in this muscular, this neural, whatever you want to fucking call it.
This has known this for 2,500 years. Note the story of Milo of Croton.
Note the story of Milo of Croton. Milo of Croton. Yes, okay.
All right, so we finished up
It's bullshit. The story's bullshit. Croton is bullshit. It's all bullshit.
with, again, split squats, leg curls, seated calf raises. All right, then we go to her lightest upper body day. We're starting this off with incline dumbbell presses. Again, we've already done barbell incline earlier in the week. We've done barbell flat and barbell decline. I do like to have, for people who are in pursuit of aesthetics, I do like to have a slight bias towards incline work. I think most people who follow my work realize that.
The thing about this exercise is the pulling down part is meaningless. It just makes you better at pulling it down. The more important part is going back up, the up part. Yeah, the eccentric.
So in her case, I do want to have both a barbell and a dumbbell. All right. Also because chest has been a weak link for her a little bit, both when we were powerlifting and in her last training rotation she was doing. We really need the additional chest work. I want to make sure that her chest is developed top to bottom before she gets on a stage. I want to make sure that we have that deep line down the middle. So I want to see separation through her chest all the way down.
He wants to see what? He trying to, man, this is funny, whatever.
Top to bottom. So again, we need to hit all these angles.
Her body has never changed since I've been watching her on this channel. She looks exactly the same. Other than she's got more tattoos.
We want flat work, decline work, incline work. We use barbells, we use dumbbells, and we use cables. Again, the perk of the cable to finish off here, we not only get the lengthened position, we also have the ability to maintain some tension in the shortened position, which we don't get quite to the same degree with presses. Now, is that absolutely necessary to get a big chest? Absolutely not. When we are talking about a physique competitor who wants a pro card, who does need more pectoral, I think is warranted. So same thing here. Her first or her second back exercise here, we do a lat pull down first. Again, I've got her doing an incline dumbbell row, and I had to demonstrate for her how I want this done. All right, so what's the point here? Like, she does all those pull-ups, she does barbell rows. Why does she need this?
Yeah, like he said before, primary driver of progressive overload and adaptation. Yeah, you're gonna get an adaptation in neural, in motor unit recruitment, androgen receptor. That's it. That's all she's really doing here. She's not doing any eccentric movements. They're very poor. Her movements are poor.
Same thing. I want to refine that area in her upper back so that when she gets on a stage later, I want to see separation between her trapezius and her rhomboid.
Wow, Blaha wants to see separation, all these things. All of a sudden, Blaha's a bodybuilder. He's been a power lifter all his life, doesn't know anything about bodybuilding. And all of a sudden, he's a bodybuilder. He's a coach, and he's a coach bodybuilding. Wasn't she powerlifting before, and now he's what? He's pretending to train her for bodybuilding, yet she's doing the exact same exercises she's done in the beginning when he was coaching her in powerlifting. And now he starts doing voiceovers using her videos. Maybe she doesn't even know he's using her videos. And he says, oh, we're prepping for a show, bodybuilding show. Is she bodybuilding or is she powerlifter? What's going on here?
And posterior deltoids. I want to develop a separation that gives us that.
This is an absolute useless exercise. Throwing the weights up and down in the air. They simply fatigue your muscles. They just fatigue them. They get them tired.
Stretched position. If you watch the way.
Well, yeah, they'll make her better at throwing these weights up in the air. That's all.
That movement works. Notice that it allows the shoulder blades to roll forward from that 45-degree angle, and then think about what that does for things like the middle trap, upper trap, the rhomboid. I mean, obviously it works lats and posterior delts, but again, trying to finish.
Okay, this is okay. There's some eccentric movement here, but she doesn't need to go full range on eccentric movements.
I run my own shop, which means I have to.
But again, trying to finish those fine details. A lot of what we do on the last 2 days of the week is really about
whatever
environment.
See what else she's doing here.
Wants to be on stage.
Okay, she doesn't need to go all the way to the top, but okay, whatever. There's some eccentric movement going on here. There's some eccentric.
Have to pay attention to these details. Same thing here. Long head of her tricep.
There's not a lot of eccentric. There could be more, but she wants to be comfortable, you know.
It's not up to par. We've done a lot of powerlifting. Again, something I personally
powerlifting, yeah.
Static reflex on the long head of the tricep.
You don't need to power lift.
And the primary mover.
All right, this is interesting.
Then, of course, we finish up with.
So, Let me get this straight. She's going to push the weight all the way back. She's just going to keep pushing the weight. Okay. There's not a lot of tension here on the... I find free weights are much better for this. Free weight and especially cable.
Rear deltoids. We just use a machine for this. I personally like dumbbells when I do them. I like these on an incline bench for me personally. In her case, we have access to
It's quite for
the training volume she does. They don't have the work.
Okay, how far does she go down on these? Is she doing a full eccentric movement?
Capacity, they don't have the lifestyle. We also are refining her physique.
Again, this is a really good machine. The pendulum, you can go all the way down, touch your ankles, come up. You don't have to go all the way up to the top. You know that? I've seen people bounce, at least they bounce. That's a good one. Bouncing is good too. So you bounce on the bottom of your ankles, you bounce, and then you bounce yourself up again, and then you just keep bouncing down, up partials, doing partials. Doing numerous amounts of these partials in the eccentric form will get this damage. So you don't waste your time there.
Now, because our biggest concern with high volume is overuse injuries, by rotating the exercise, particularly
High volume injuries? What is he talking about? He's a loser. Whatever. See what else she's got going on here.
not optional. I mean, even Louis Simmons realized this at Westside. He had two basic psychological.
This is the best. This will just make you better at doing the hip movement. It'll make you better at doing the hip movement. She's doing, it's all up. It's all concentric movements here. I don't see any eccentric.
Approaches depending upon personality type.
Well, there's a little bit of eccentric there. There was, but mostly she's just bouncing stuff around. But whatever. Let's see what it's this.
He spoke about it in Vast.
Okay, absolutely useless. She's just pushing up on the concentric movement. She's doing concentric. It's absolutely useless. Great for pumping glycogen in your muscle, getting jacked. Yes, getting phonally jacked. Yes.
Detail, by the way.
Wonderful.
At seminars.
Wonderful. Yes.
Bell calf raises. She has 315 on.
Again, these calf raises, great for pumping them up with some glycogen. Yes, but there's no eccentric movement. There's no damage. Waste of time.
There now.
See that? Just the up force. There's nothing going down. She's just going up, 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 up.
These calves are starting to grow a little bit.
Yeah, they're starting to grow with what? Glycogen. That's what eccentric exercises are useful for. The pump, they're useful for the pump, but they're not useful for reduced force capacities, muscle damage, micro damages, reduced force capacities, pain, soreness, and everything in delayed onset muscle soreness. Yes. It's not associated with that. And building more myofibulars after the repair and the remodeling. Okay.
But we're going to keep chipping away at them. And it's like I told her, look.
See the two differences? What is the difference between doing eccentric exercises and concentric? Well, concentric is associated with the pump, right? It's associated with the pump and you getting good at lifting this weight. And you being a lifting slave at lifting this weight forever because you have to keep lifting it because it'll go away. Now, eccentric exercise is associated with creating permanent myofibular growth. You understand me? Getting more nuclei to synthesize more protein, to build more mass, more muscles, and more contractile proteins. And it's associated with pain, reduced force capacity, during that week, during the repair and remodeling. See the difference? You'll know, if you're an experienced lifter, you will know the difference between the two exercises, the two movements.
Calves are stubborn muscles. We chip away at them, work out after.
Yeah, stubborn muscles, we're going to chip away at them, chip away.
Workout. We force them to grow through additional mechanical tension and
again, look what she's doing here. She's doing the concentric without any eccentric. Sucks.
So we have pro quality calves. And it's going to take some time.
You don't have to go all the way up in this movement. You go down and then you go parallel to the floor. You go parallel to the floor and you go down again. Get it? You go down parallel, down parallel. You don't need to go all the way up. You don't need to do concentric exercises if you're moving for eccentric. to get this damage to build more myofibrillar growth.
And there we are finishing it up. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope.
Look, Mom, she's building muscles in the gym. They're called sarcoplasmic muscles. I'll see you in the next one, friends. Tell me what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. Team Blaha, Michelle, failure, a day of infertility and accelerated aging. That's about it. See you in the next one. Ciao, friends.